town of Farragut is awaiting a reckoning. It has been 50-some-odd years since its residents were notoriously nicknamed the Farmers. Now, the town is almost unrecognizable to many of its oldest inhabitants.
Community members in Farragut voicing their concerns about a new development in the works. This is the old Kroger along Concord Road. People not happy about plans for new apartments. Now, members of the community tell us they didn't have any say in the changes.
Construction has been consistent throughout the town for the last 5 years, and despite mass disapproval from the residents, bureaucrats of Farragut have continued to bypass the democratic system by utilizing key rare laws that the town is home to. I sat down with homeowners, environmentalists, town officials, contractors, and community leaders to get down to the bottom of some of the more important details of this matter.
We had that agreement with the town, and now they changed the plan completely.
That was Pat Lee, a local activist who has served the town for several years now. He can be seen pictured here, where he helped organize a rally to support the desist of apartment construction in the heart of the town. Under the guise of new COVID protocol, the people of Farragut were barred from participation in their local government. Some denizens have even cried foul play, and debate between the town's higher-ups and their neighbors has continued late into the beginning of one of the more controversial projects. Lee spoke with me about some of the complications that have persisted throughout the entire process of attempting to develop what was once a Kroger in the middle of Farragut. He also spoke with me about how some of the action taken by Farragut's officials may be proven criminal. Pat, how long have you lived in Farragut?
We originally moved here in 2001.
And what was it like before all the growth?
Lovell was a 2-lane road. It was quiet. We were one of the first houses out in Montgomery Cove, and there was nothing going out North Shore that way. And now it's totally filled with homes, very inexpensive homes. What we moved to Farragut for, the quaint country feel, is evaporated.
In your opinion, why do you think some of this development is a bad thing?
Because it's not planned. It's developer driven. It's not community driven. It's not what the community said that they wanted and that the town agreed to give to the community. The infrastructure needed to be built up. These roads needed to be built up. They are just wanting the money. More people in here to spend more money here.
What do you think Farragut looks like in, say, 10, 20 years down the line?
At the best, it's going to look like Beard, which is bumper to bumper.
Right.
At worst, it's going to be gridlock. Vice Mayor is the one who is really in charge of all of this. I mean, she's the leader of the town. She's also been terribly dishonest. It's all, on the record. The price for apathy is being ruled by tyrants. If you don't stand up for your rights and you don't speak up, there won't be anybody left when they come after you.
Development is more or less inevitable. It's happening all around us. What kind of construction would you like to see in Farragut in place of what we see today?
I think there should be a moratorium on development until they catch up. They need to stop. They need to stop issuing permits of any kind. Let me just say this, development in and of itself is a good thing.
Right.
Physical development is a good thing. Development of your mind is a good thing. Development of a community is a good thing, but it has to be planned. In stark contrast to Pat Lee's opposition to new housing and construction, I spoke with lead Parks and Recreation Assistant, Alex, who says further building is nothing but a positive. What can you speak on in terms of the development and what kind of effect it's had on the town?
We've had a lot of development recently. Like in the past 5 years, we've expanded our park significantly. We've got a whole new community center for people to come in and hang out and rent the gym and classrooms, the assembly hall. We've had a lot, and even with here at McPhee, with all the construction they're doing, it's like doubling the size of the park. And it's really great to see, at least the Parks and Recreation department, just like the more facilities that we get for people to come and play and do new things.
Right. And do you know about any of the implications that might have had on possibly the wildlife?
I'm not entirely sure, but whenever we do build stuff like this, we always have over at Mayor Bob, we have a marsh area.
Okay.
That is only marsh. It's meant for the animals to go in and be safe inside. I often check trash around the marsh.
Right on.
Over there. And I think there was a rare lily they found near the new playground behind Town Hall that they're trying to get preserved so that whenever they do redevelop that area, they don't lose some rare flower like that.
Cool.
So that's something they do take into account. Yeah.
So from the town of Farragut, they look at the development as a positive.
Yes, always.
They're happy about it.
Yeah, it's always for the betterment of the community.
Right.
And all the people in it.
Right. Okay. Right on, man. Thank you. While Alex maintains that the natural environment is protected by the town of Farragut, Velma Kincaid would argue otherwise. Kincaid is a longtime homeowner who once lived in a sparsely built countryside but is now sandwiched between McPhee Park and a soon-to-be neighborhood. She was able to give me a better perspective on what it is like to have built out in your own backyard. How long have you lived here?
I came here in about 53, but I left for 5 years.
How recently did you find out about the development that is happening right here?
Well, the former owner of that parcel down there told me they started this project 5 years ago. Not 5, 3.
And how has the development affected you?
Well, they're going to be right in our door. They're going to knock off our view. We've had all through the years. We've lived here without people around us all these years, and now look at it.
And do you know about any other people, any other places that you know are going to be affected by some of the development here in Farragut?
Most everybody, the old folks are gone. Folks that's always lived here are gone. They say they just don't have their wildlife now. It's gone. The coyotes left. Can you believe that? The coyotes.
And what other animals have you seen that have just kind of disappeared for the most part?
Haven't seen anything but a rabbit.
Now, Pat, in your opinion, Mr. Lee, do you think it is too late for Farragut?
I think in some ways the damage is already done.
Change should be welcomed in any society. It's important to grow and to be moving towards a goal as a community. But in the case of Farragut, Tennessee, the direction of that change has been brought into question. If change means overcrowding, more expensive cost of living, destruction of the environment, and not to mention heavy traffic, I, for one, do not want any part. The townspeople don't either, and some are doing what they can to prevent the restructuring of Farragut. But if contracting keeps up at its current rate, we might be looking at a completely new place soon enough. Thank you for watching my film. You can find my other work on YouTube at Ollie Creasy or link to my Instagram at Oliver Creasy. Spread the word. This has been Oliver.